Good afternoon. My name is Robin Wansley, and I am the chair of the Administration and Enterprise Oversight Committee. I am going to call to order our regular scheduled meeting for today, May 19th, 2025. But before we begin the meeting, I do want to offer a friendly reminder to all committee members, staff, and the public that these meetings are broadcast live to enable greater public participation. These broadcasts include real-time captioning as a further method to increase the accessibility of our proceedings to the community. Therefore, all speakers need to be mindful of the rate of their speech so that our captioners can fully capture and transcribe all comments for the broadcast. We ask all speakers to moderate the speed and clarity of their comments. So with that, I will ask the clerks to call the roll.
Councilmember Vita.
Present.
Ellison.
Here.
Cashman.
Present.
Chugtai.
Present.
Vice Chair Palmisano. It's not here. And then Chair Wansley, sorry.
Present.
All right, there are 5 members present.
All right, let the record reflect that we do have a quorum. Once again, I'll remind my colleagues that we'll be using speaker management today. So please make sure to sign in. And if you're having any trouble, please ask the clerks for assistance. That said, we have 20 items on the consent agenda, which I'll now read for the record. The first is a gift acceptance from Carbon Neutral Cities Alliance of Registration, Lodging, and Airfare. The second is a gift acceptance from Robert Wood Johnson Foundation for lodging, travel expenses, and meals. 3 is a contract with Short Elliott Hendrickson, Inc. for engineering and design services for the Highway Safety Improvement Program project at signalized intersections in Whittier neighborhood. Number 4 is a contract with Alliant Engineering, Inc. for engineering and design services for the Highway Safety Improvement Program project at Bloomington Avenue and Minnehaha Parkway. 5 is a contract amendment with Parker Analytics, LLC for data analytics consulting services for sworn law enforcement recruitment and hiring. 6 is a contract amendment with Egan Company for streetlight installations. 7 is a contract amendment with Grimes Linhart Allen PLLP for workers' compensation legal services. 8 is contract amendment with Weiser Concrete Products, Inc. for reinforced maintenance hole covers. 9 is a contract amendment with Good Works Consulting, LLC for learning and organization development services. 11 is a contract amendment with Restoration and Construction Services, LLC for the Hilton Ramp Waterproofing Project. 11 is a bid for public impound towing services. 12 is a bid for Fridley Roof and Masonry Repair Phase 1. 13 is a bid for the Washburn Water Tower Restoration. 14 are legal settlement worker compensation claims of Anthony Kuzik. 15 is a legal settlement workers' compensation claim of Vicky Karnick. 16 is a legal settlement of the claim of Jiao Tao and B. Vang. 17 is a legal settlement Tyler v. Hennepin County. 18 is a legal settlement Church of the Holy Cross v. City of Minneapolis. 19 is surveillance technology contracts ordinance. And 20 is professional service contract ordinance. With that, I will move approval of the consent agenda, and starting with items 1 through 14 and then 16 through 20. I'll also look to see if there's anyone in the queue. Okay, there is none. So all those in favor of items 1 through 14 and 16 through 20, please say aye. Aye. Those not in favor, say nay. All right. We will next take up the items. I believe it's just 15. And I think we can do a separate roll call vote on that.
Councilmember Vita.
Aye.
Ellison.
Aye.
Cashman.
Aye.
Chugtai.
Aye.
Vice Chair Palmisano is absent, and Chair Wansley.
Nay.
All right, there are 4 ayes and 1 nay.
That item passes. And next, we will move to the discussion part of our agenda. So next, we have from our previous AO meeting, the presentation from the 311 Service Center. This item was, again, postponed, and I will ask Director Nazimbi from the 311 Service Center to speak on this item. And again, thank you for your flexibility for coming back with this presentation.
Good afternoon, Chair Wansley and council members. My name is Mwenden Zimbi, and I am the director of the 311 Service Center Department. Thank you for the opportunity to present today. I'm excited to share highlights from 2024 and provide a look ahead at what we are doing in 2025. Our vision is to be the trusted go-to resource connecting every Minneapolis resident to the services they need, equitably and efficiently. The 311 Service Center exists to make government services easy to access and navigate. Whether through a call, walk-in, or online request, our goal is to ensure every resident feels heard, helped, and valued. Here is our department's organizational structure. The leadership team includes the operations manager who oversees daily functions at the 311 call center, the service center, and the Lake Street Safety Center, and the support services manager who leads training, technology, quality assurance, and data analysis. And now I will start with an overview of the service center. The Minneapolis Service Center is the city's one-stop shop for in-person services, helping residents with permits, licenses, and general city information. Located on the skyway of the Public Service Building, we're open Monday through Thursday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m., and Fridays, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Our team includes 5 agents and 1 supervisor. The Service Center now supports over 250 services across 12 city departments. We connect residents to subject matter experts, both in person and through virtual counters. In 2024, we expanded services by launching our data request assistance. We partnered with Metro Transit to offer the Transit Assistance Program, and we piloted a virtual 311 agent, now live as of today, to assist residents on site. This next slide reflects the month-over-month volume and reach of our in-person service delivery. In 2024, the Service Center welcomed 20,247 visitors and completed 26,473 services, highlighting its role as a true one-stop shop where residents often complete multiple tasks in one visit. This next slide reflects the month-over-month volume and reach. This next slide shows our visits and transactions have steadily increased from 2021 to 2024, showing rising awareness of the service center, public trust, and the effectiveness of our in-person service model. And next is our Eastlake Community Safety Center. Located at 2228 Eastlake Street, this new center opened on November 4th, 2024. Hours of operation are Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., Tuesday and Thursday, 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. And it's staffed by 2 agents, and it shares a supervisor with a downtown location. We partner with departments and community groups at this site, like crime prevention specialists, community navigators, the Greater Minneapolis Council of Churches, to offer support to the community. In response to community demand, we began offering non-emergency police report assistance last week. This next slide shows activity for the first 7 weeks of operation that ended December 2024. We saw around 69 visitors, typical for a new site, with many still adjusting to the location's new purpose as it formerly housed a dental clinic, and that number other outside services of 38, those were people who stopped by asking about the dental clinic. Moving on to the 311 call center. Our call center remains a critical lifeline for residents. As the city's primary information and service request hub, 311 serves all departments by helping residents navigate city services and resolve non-emergency issues. We provide multiple access points or channels to ensure convenience and equity in service delivery. We can be reached by phone, by email, online self-service form, or through the 311 app. Our call center is staffed by 28 agents and 3 supervisors. Our goal is first call resolution, helping residents get what they need the first time. We use an interactive voice response system, or IVR, to guide callers, and also a CRM system called Lagan to log and track requests, supported by service agreements with departments. In 2024, we managed 181 case types using 859 knowledge articles and 700 scripts, which is slightly fewer than in 2023, as you see, and this is due to streamlining efforts in 2024. We have improved efficiency by consolidating scripts and shifting a lot of the information to the public. It's public facing now, to departments' websites, empowering residents to self-serve. This work was done in collaboration with city departments and has also improved our training, which has made our operations smarter and more user-focused. Let's take a closer look at the 311 data. This slide presents a high-level, year-over-year snapshot of 311 operations. To better understand the changes we've seen in 2024, I will start with a look back at 2023, which is that middle part. In 2023, 311 received 283,333 calls and nearly 51,000 emails. Combined, that's over 334,000 interactions. Of these, about 28% or 94,500 resulted in service requests that were forwarded to departments. That means that 72% or nearly 240,000 calls and emails were fully resolved by 311 agents, where our agents help residents find information, navigate services, or resolved issues directly with no handoff needed. On top of that, residents submitted more than 17,000 service requests through our self-service web form and over 21,000 through the mobile app. And these requests bypass agents and go directly to the departments. Altogether, 132,874 service requests were entered into Lagan in 2023 for departments to act on. Importantly, we also saw increased engagement across all channels compared to 2022. Now let's turn to 2024. One of the most significant operational changes we made at the end of 2023 was a full implementation of our interactive voice response, or IVR system, and its impact is clear in this data. So in 2024, you can see that calls handled by live agents dropped to 261,650, and email volume also dropped to 38,340. Together, totaling just under 300,000 interactions, with about 27% or 81,400 becoming service requests. That leaves 73% or more than 218,000 interactions fully resolved by 311 agents. What's exciting is a new metric, in the second bullet of 2024. In addition to live agent calls, our IVR system handled another 100,099 calls independently. That means 28% of total calls in 2024 were resolved without ever reaching an agent. This shift demonstrates the beginning of a broader transformation in how we serve residents, leveraging technology to handle high-volume inquiries more efficiently while freeing up agent time to focus on more complex issues. This shift is a game changer. We are leveraging technology, and we're also seeing a decrease in total interactions across channels. And that's a good thing in this context because it reflects strategic improvements, not a drop in resident need. The reduction stems from, again, as I mentioned, from our IVR rollout, as well as the 311 management team's hard work in streamlining the knowledge base. This made it easier for agents to find accurate answers and unnecessary repeat calls from residents. So, a decrease in volume can be a positive indicator. It tells us we're delivering faster answers, using fewer touch points, and managing resources more wisely. This slide shows 2024 service request volume by month and submission channel, with the gray line showing 2023 for comparison. At first glance, 2024 volumes appear lower than 2023, and they are, but it's important to understand why. Yes, our IVR improvements and streamlined resources reduced unnecessary handoffs and improved resolution rates. But the biggest reason for the lower call volume in 2024 was the weather. The winter of 2023 to 2024 was one of the warmest on record in Minnesota, and that meant fewer snow and ice-related issues and fewer calls. When we look at the numbers, in January to March of 2023, shown by the gray line again, over 91,000 calls were largely driven by snow events, while in the bar chart for 2024, during the same time, January through March, we only saw 52,774 calls, which is a 42% drop in seasonal volume. Also, in 2023, Minneapolis declared five snow emergencies, while in 2024, there was only one. This context is critical. The lower call volume is not a sign of decreased engagement. It reflects real-world conditions that directly impact service requests. And taken together, this data reinforces that our operational improvements, combined with external factors like weather, are shaping a new, more efficient model in how we look at and support residents. I'll talk a little bit about our interactive voice response system, or IVR. So this slide highlights the impacts, broader impacts of our IVR, which helps residents get quickly access information without speaking to a live agent. In 2024, we saw a 2022 reduction in calls. In the data, it showed 28% because those also included the calls that came in after hours and went to voicemail. This 22% is the reduction during business hours when we are open from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. So 22% during business hours were finalized within the IVR itself. That means that callers are now able to get the information they need without waiting to speak to someone, saving time for both customers and staff. We also added language options. They now include Somali, Hmong, and Spanish. And also, callers are now notified before a translator joins the line, which has improved clarity, because before they would call, they did not know that they're being connected to a translator. And then when a live 311 agent speaks and they're trying to connect them, there's that disconnect or the gap in communication before we got a translator online. So now they're able to the IVR lets them know in their selected language that they will be connected to a translator. On the back end, through the IVR, we're using keyword tracking to better understand caller needs and where we can streamline service. A big thank you to IT's partnership and smart vendor negotiations. We have cut monthly costs on the IVR from between $9,000 to $11,000 to about $5,000. Looking ahead, we're exploring integrating the IVR with a new CRM system. Police records and reports. This slide shows year-over-year data on police reports and police records. Residents can file non-emergency police reports through online forms or by calling 311 for assistance. When the city transitioned this responsibility from 911 to 311 in 2021, we received 10,789 reports with 6,790 submitted online and approximately 4,000 or 37% completed with 311 agent assistance. Since then, the number of reports filed has steadily increased, reaching 19,619 in 2024, which shows an 82% increase. Importantly, the percentage filed with agent help has decreased, signaling more residents are comfortable using the online forms. And this is a positive trend as it reflects improved awareness and usability. And it also frees up agents for more complex or urgent needs. Still, that said, many reports have a 311 touch point, even those that are submitted online, because residents call 311 first with questions before being directed to submit the report online. For police records, which are handled in person at the service center, demand has also grown. In 2024, we processed 6,596 transactions, which represents 25% of all service center walk-up activity, which is a strong reminder that physical access to certain services remains essential. Next slide highlights trends in how residents engage with 311 through our mobile app and web-based self-service forms, and how seasonal patterns impact demand. Spring and summer see a consistent increase in activity driven by events like street sweeping, construction, and increased inquiries about permits and licenses. These services generate more requests through all channels, not just phone calls. In contrast, the Q4 fourth quarter decline reflects the unusually mild winter of 2023-2024 that I talked about, which resulted in fewer cold weather-related requests like snow, ice removal, and potholes. This data underscores that residents use 311 in ways that reflect the city's seasonal rhythms, and that our ability to meet demand depends on a responsive multi-channel service model. This next slide shows the volume of service requests received in 2024 across all 13 wards, and how residents interacted with 311 through different channels, like the mobile app, self-service, or 311 agent interaction. It shows how service request volumes varies by ward, with Ward 5 receiving the highest number of requests, that's 10,764. In 2024, followed closely by Wards 9 and 10. Wards 3 and 10 had the highest usage of the 311 mobile app, while Ward 9 led in web self-service use with 1,546 cases submitted online. Overall, over 26,000 requests citywide. More than a quarter of all submissions came through digital self-service tools. This shift reflects a growing preference for convenient digital access, which aligns with 311's strategy to expand responsive, efficient, and equitable services. This slide provides a visual summary of the interactions by channel that were previously discussed. And now we will look at the top 20 case types of requests for service citywide. 311 currently manages about 180 case types, which are routed to departments for resolution. When a resident contacts us with a service issue, our agents create a request if follow-up is required. So in this slide, you'll see the top 20 cases citywide again in 2024, along with short descriptions of what each entails. This other one, it expands those top 20 case types by adding the number of interactions for each. The service level agreement, which is expected time frame for department response, and then the SLA performance percentages. SLAs or service level agreements are designed around departmental workflows and help set realistic expectations for residents. In 2024, the most common requests citywide were parking violations, animal complaints, and graffiti. Each quarter, our department reviews performance and meets with departments whose SLAs rates fall below 70%. This threshold helps raise awareness, and also our goal is to build a culture of accountability. Departments are asked to explain low performance and outline corrective plans, and as a result, our SLA rates have significantly improved. Most now exceed 80%. As this culture strengthens, our goal is to continue raising benchmarks and escalate unresolved issues to maintain accountability. The next slides from 27 to 52 provide a breakdown of the top 20 service requests in each ward. This will highlight the most pressing issues in each ward and how they align or differ from citywide patterns. And with that, I will jump to slide 52. So to better understand the progress we have made over the past 2 years, I have been leading this department. It's important to view our work through the lens of the 2022 Constituent Services Legislative Directive. This directive was introduced during a time of high constituent escalations caused by process bottlenecks and inconsistent service delivery. These challenges prompted enterprise leadership, both legislative and administrative, to pause and reassess how we are serving residents. In 2023, I was tasked with leading the administrative response. Since then, our focus has been on stabilizing and strengthening 311 operations, streamlining internal processes, deepening collaboration with departments, and our ultimate goal has been to deliver consistent quality service through shared standards and a unified citywide approach. We also recognize that exceptional service starts with our people, so we've prioritized a supportive and respectful workplace culture that empowers staff and reflects our values in every interaction. Through citywide engagement, we identified 5 key areas shaping our enterprise-wide service model. Processes and standards. I've talked about how we've been refining workflows and aligning service levels across departments, systems, and technology. I'll be talking briefly about our new CRM. 311 dashboard, we have a centralized tool to track SLAs and performance built in partnership with IT and the city clerk's office. Online engagement platform, we are designing a more user-friendly digital space for submitting and tracking service requests. And lastly, we're working on training in Q4 to align staff on expectations and best practices. All in all, though there's still a lot of work ahead for us, 311 is in a much stronger place than it was 2 years ago. We're more aligned, more responsive, and better positioned to support both residents and our enterprise partners. We also established 5 goals to guide this work and ensure a coordinated resident-focused service model. I will not go into detail because these goals are reflected throughout the presentation, but they form the foundation of our future work. The next slide is a quick overview of our 2024 accomplishments. In where we collaborated with the Office of Community Safety, supporting the opening of the Eastlake Community Safety Center. We launched TAP at the service center and brought services to 12 events through our 311 on the go model. On 311, 911 trainings improved public understanding of city services, and we also began gathering resident feedback to shape our new CRM system. We redesigned our IVR system. We aligned our work with Outcome Minneapolis and updated our knowledge base with city partners. SLA reviews became standard. We reinforced accountability. 311 also took on a larger role in shaping citywide strategies, advancing a more responsive and resident-centered model. Taken together, these accomplishments show that we are not only improving operations, we're building a more resident-centered, responsive, and strategic city service model for the future. In 2025, we're focusing on access, equity, and innovation. We've hired bilingual staff. We've launched virtual 311 at the service center, and we've expanded police report services at Lake Street. And perhaps most transformational, we're continuing the work of the new through the CRM project. In 2025, Q4 of this year, we're launching enterprise-wide trainings focused on service standards, SLAs, leveraging the 311 dashboard and collaboration with 211 to ensure consistent, equitable service across departments to build on all the work that we've been doing in 2024 because we've partnered with departments to do a lot of work, but now it's time to bring it all together and provide training so that it's consistent, and we're planning for it to be in Comet so that it can be accessible as the city gets more staff with the staff turnover or new staff, so that the expectation can be laid for everybody. Introducing the new CRM project, we're excited about this new project. It's transformative and will revolutionize how the city connects with residents. And we're looking at a platform that is truly resident-focused and that centralizes communication, and one that ensures every resident has equal access to the services they need. The timeline for the new project, it's led by IT, and it's funded in the 2025 budget and is now in the vendor selection phase. The contract finalization is expected in late 2025 with a target go live in Q3 of 2027. This new CRM project is being built through a collaborative and inclusive process. We held 15 feedback sessions with departments across city departments to get their feedback, and we also received 832 resident survey responses where their key needs included the ability to report issues outside of 311 hours, better tracking from submission to resolution, and enhanced mobile and online self-service tools. The next phases include design, testing, and training, and they're centered on user needs and change management. I will touch briefly on our work on this with the South Minneapolis Community Safety Center, where in collaboration with the Office of Community Safety, MPD, and Property Services, we've completed the space planning phase. We completed that in January, and we're now designing the service layout with the front counter access, the virtual support, police records integration to ensure a seamless service experience. And next, briefly touch on our work on the Safe and Thriving Communities report. The Safe and Thriving Communities report recommended the 311 explore partnership and collaboration opportunities with 211. Late last year, we began engaging with the leadership of Greater Twin Cities United Way 211 to explore potential avenues for collaboration. While we are still framing this partnership, our goal is to strengthen resident support by aligning the city's 311 services with 211's community-based resource network. This partnership will ensure that residents are efficiently connected to the most appropriate support, whether through city services or nonprofit resources. The key focus areas of our collaboration include the cross-program awareness and relationship building, data sharing and analysis, citywide staff training, coordinated messaging, joint community engagement, and lastly, contract research collaboration, which includes researching sustainable models that could inform future service delivery and partnership strategies to benefit residents in the years to come. This brings me to the end of my prepared remarks, and we're incredibly proud of the work we're doing and the positive impact it is having to the lives of Minneapolis residents. I'm fortunate to work alongside a dedicated and passionate team, and I want to thank them for their continued efforts and hard work. With that, I'm happy to take any questions.
Thank you so much, Director Nzimbi. I'm going to check to see if there's any questions in queue. I see Councilmember Cashman first.
Thank you, Chair Wansley, and thank you, Director Nzimbi. I was just looking back at the departmental presentation for the 2025 budget that you made, and looking ahead in 2025, some of your goals. So I was just wondering if I can just kind of list through them, because I think you mentioned all of these, but just wanted to make sure that I heard correctly. So one of your goals was to hire bilingual staff this year. It sounds like that's something that you were able to do.
Yes.
Can you remind me how many bilingual staff you hired and how often they're working?
Chair Wansley, Councilmember Cashman, they started at the beginning of this year, so we hired one Somali bilingual staff, and we have one Spanish bilingual staff.
Okay, thank you. The other thing was police reports at East Lake Street launching May 12th. It sounds like, did you launch that earlier than May 12th?
It was launched last week,
Last week?
Yes.
Okay, so right on
14th, I think.
schedule. Okay. And then the virtual 311 service, has that been launched?
Chair Wansley, Councilmember Cashman, yes, that was launched, went live today at the
Amazing.
Service Center, May 19th.
And then the CRM project, can you remind me what the timeline is for that, for the transition to the new CRM?
Chair Wansley, Councilmember Cashman, right now we are reviewing proposals. We're looking at having the contract executed by the end of this year so that we can start the next phases, which are the designing and all that stuff, all through implementation and training, and we expect the go live to be sometime in Q3 of 2027.
Okay. Well, thanks for the presentation and for, how right on time and how specific those dates were for the new accomplishments to roll out this year. So congratulations.
Thank you, Councilmember Cashman. Next is Vice Chair Palmisano.
Madam Chair, I just wanted to thank you, Director, for I guess I didn't realize how much weather impacted your call volumes. And so thank you to you and all of your call takers that have taken so many of these tough weather calls. That was just a new learning point for me this year. That's all.
Thank you, Vice Chair Palmisano. I'll also echo just gratitude for always coming forward with a comprehensive presentation. I will make sure to send a note out to council members to let them know that you've also provided synopsis of the top complaints that's in their ward so that that can guide potential constituent service action steps. This is all fruitful information that I know your team sends out to us regularly over emails, but to be able to show the public too that we do have a way in which you all are collectively assessing, top of mind issues for our residents, and then that helps us figure out how we do the problem solving. And it's also good to hear that you're a part of that process in terms of, you mentioned the cross collaboration strategy amongst the enterprise, and seeing that be reflective in the service level agreement changes in terms of percentage time for it to get back. So really appreciate your leadership. Excited to see this potential partnership with 211. I did want to get a little bit more information in terms of just how early in the process are you all in with that? Would that require some level of a MOU in order to formalize a partnership? So just wanted to get a little bit more information on this because this seems like a really good opportunity.
Chair Wansley, thank you for the question. We have already started the work, and there's parts of it down the road that will need an MOU, but things like cross-program awareness and relation building. We've already started working on that. Coordinated events, we've already done that. We started actually with the Community Connections Conference. We co-presented together. We had tables close to each other, and we had a lot of Minneapolis residents actually. It was an educational moment for them when just the sheer act of us being our tables being close together, 211 and 311, was very educational. We have created a communications plan internally between 311 and 911 around this work of the Safe and Thriving Communities. And now the next step is working with 211 to make sure that it is so that they can add onto it, because we want it coordinated. So that is already happening. Doesn't need an MOU at this point. We are planning to do the staff training in Q4 that I mentioned, that, and we've had conversations with 211, and they are willing to come in and support with that. So that planning is already underway. The last part, that contract research collaboration, is where we would probably need some contractual obligation, because we're looking at, as we're building the new system, the new CRM system, we're making sure that we are incorporating or creating a structure for this to support this work whenever we'll be able to do it. Creating pathways, like we've done a lot of research. My staff has done research of other 211 and 211, 311 collaborations in the country, and we've narrowed down to one or two that we think are really good models that we could follow. One of them is where they, the 211, United Way 211 takes on after call hours for 311, and we thought it was a very interesting model. So then what does that mean? If we are to go that route, or whichever route we pick, we need to make sure that, because now we have a new CRM that we're building, that we're providing for that in the event, that is a way we want to go. And so we planned ahead, and we were very intentional about making sure that in this, the CRM that we're building, we have made provision for that, be it IT looking at the security, what would that look like? Next is having conversations on what after hours, which of our services can be taken by 211 after hours, because as you know, we take police reports. Is that something that can be taken after hours? So these conversations, we're going to start having those conversations around that, and that is a part where once we come to an agreement on how to move forward, then that will be a contractual obligation, or maybe at that point we'll need to do an MOU, but we're not at a place where we need to do MOU. We're laying the groundwork, and we're very proud of what we're doing right now.
Awesome. Thank you for that additional context. I do see Councilmember Vital in queue next.
Thank you, Chair Wansley. I don't have any questions because you do such thorough presentations. Thank you so much for this information. It's definitely needed. The 311 is probably on the top of the list of things of, services that folks in Ward 4 need. And just looking at the slide, I can't even take my eyes off the slide about what's happening in Ward 4. It's very true. It's all the things, like your list matches the emails and the calls that I get in my office also. I wanted to just take the time to thank you and your team so much for all the hard work you're doing to make sure that these calls get navigated through, and the app, and thinking of new ways in how to engage residents. I think it's super important that we continue to build on relationships with our constituency, and you all are doing a really good job of that in 311. It helps to build the trust in government when you call or when you use the app or make an email and a problem gets resolved. Even if it's something you all can't figure out, what I've seen is you all figure out who can figure it out, right? So that's been super helpful to my office and to the people in Ward 4. When I say to someone, you can call me and call 311, it's getting better. People are like, okay, I can do that, right? Like I can remember just a couple years ago, they didn't feel that way about 311. They weren't quick to say, yes, I'll try 311 the next time. And so what I see before me today in this presentation is you and your department really showing up and building up the department, building up confidence in residents in Minneapolis to use 311 as the service. And I mean, adding the interpreter services helps out a lot too. So more than anything, I just wanted to thank you, Director, and your team for the stellar job you all are doing to make sure that problems, sometimes these feel like the worst problems people have in their life on 311, right? Like you're calling and it feels like a disaster to the person on the other end of the phone, or the person that I've seen people, have these critical moments in person, just like in the lobby at the 311 center, and you all do a really good job at navigating that, and my office is so happy for it and want to support you in whatever way we can. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Councilmember Vita. I am not seeing any other council members in queue. So again, thank you so much, Director Nzimbi, for this presentation. I will direct the clerks to receive and file that report. Next, we'll move on to our last item on the receive and file agenda, which is a presentation on the use of city resources from police officers when they are working off duty. So at this time, I will welcome up Deputy Director of OCS, Jared Jeffries, and Vicky Throws. Can you please share how I pronounce you? Troswick. Thank you, Vicky Troswick, also from the Minneapolis Police Department, to come and share their presentation with us.
Madam Chair, as we're transitioning, I would like to vote on all of the consent items in the affirmative if there isn't any objection with others in this committee.
Thank you for flagging that. Let the record reflect first that we've also been joined by Vice Chair Palmisano, and seeing the opposition from colleagues to be noted as an affirmative on the consent agenda. Awesome. With that, Deputy Director Jeffrey, please take it away.
Thank you, Chair Wansley. Good afternoon, Chair, Vice Chair Palmisano, and committee members. I'm Office of Community Safety Deputy Commissioner Jared Jeffries. With me today to present on the fee study for the MPD off-duty program fee study is the MPD Finance Director, Vicky Troswick. During today's presentation, we'll cover the following agenda, starting with a quick review of the legislative directive to which this presentation is responding, going through how we calculated the fee, and ending with an explanation of the fee. So I won't spend a bunch of time on the legislative directive itself. I believe you're all familiar. Shown on this slide is the original language, which includes the request for the administration to calculate the fee for MPD's off-duty program that included, but not limited to, the specific listed factors like vehicle use, uniforms and equipment, and actual administration costs for collecting the fee. Before we dive into the considerations in calculating the fee, we wanted to first give a very brief overview of the city's status quo regarding collecting a fee of this kind. Currently, the city does not collect this type of fee, and there is presently no internal infrastructure or mechanism to collect it. Because of that, and the city's only recent changes to data collection in this area, there are some analytical constraints that we were working with that we wanted to name up front as well. Specifically, the study was conducted using only about 8 months worth of data. Ideally, we'd like a more expansive data set to better inform the fee, but we use the smaller range to be responsive to the date requested in the legislative directive. Because of the smaller data set, we have limited confidence in the fee calculated and acknowledge that adjustments to this future fee will likely need to be made to account for statistical variations. As you'll see in the forthcoming slides, the study assumes the placement of infrastructure and process necessary to proficiently administer the program and collect the fee. Now we'll dig into the factors and costs considered in calculating the fee, starting with non-personnel resources. As you can see from this slide, most of the non-personnel resources associated with off-duty are not included in the fee. This is either because most of those costs are either not passed on to the city when an officer works off-duty, or the costs are de minimis. The one non-personnel cost included in the usage of city vehicles as those city assets increase the cost to the city when they are used during off-duty. Next on this slide, you'll see the personnel resources that were considered in calculating the fee. These conclusions were reached by analyzing if and which current city positions currently spend time involving administration of off-duty. This includes time spent by sworn and civilian staff who coordinate, track, approve, and supervise off-duty work. One specific note, the site coordinator is not included in the fee as they are paid for their scheduling and coordination by the site. Then on this slide are the new resources that are anticipated to be needed to administer this type of fee in the future. The full cost of these resources are captured within the resulting fee itself, so that this additional program administration will be self-sustaining. So specifically, those new resources will include a third-party billing software that would allow the city to actively administer the fee and full-time project manager and business data analyst to support the program. We'll now move into the financial analysis, for which I'll turn over to Director Troswick.
Thank you, Director Troswick.
Thank you, Chair Wansley, Vice Chair Palmisano, committee members. I'm Vicki Troswick, Finance Director for the Police Department. So as Deputy Commissioner Jeffries noted, there is 3 components in this fee structure. The first component is the vehicle. This is for use of a city vehicle, and this information was provided by our City Fleet Services Division. The calculation is made, you take the total cost of a squad, so that's $27,300. You divide that by the hours of use each year, and that gives you an hourly rate for that vehicle use. In addition to that hourly fee, $5.50 was added for the fleet administration costs, and that's for the city's fleet service to manage the city's fleet. So the total hourly fee for the fleet services area, we multiplied that times a 95% recovery ratio and got $19.80 per hour. I'll go through more detail on the next slide, but I'm just trying to cover the methodology on this slide because it's just too much. The second component is the off-duty program management. So we took the annual salary of all the positions that touch off-duty management work. We multiplied that times the time that they spend doing that work to get that total cost, which is $265,000. And then we divided that by the estimated officer hours. So with that 8 months of data, we said there's 86,000 officer hours. That's our divisor to come up with the hourly fee. And again, we use that 95% recovery fee for $2.91 per hour for the program management piece. The third component is that fee collection, and that is that $50,000 that we're assuming is the third-party software, and then the 2 FTEs. That total cost is $328,000, and we did say that we're going to do 100% cost recovery on that. That's a new expense to the city and a new revenue to the city. We divide that by the same 86,000 hours for assumed officer hours for the year, and that equals $381 per hour. I will note that there is, in the billing structure of the software vendors that we reviewed, there is an additional 4% invoicing charge that vendor charges, and it goes directly to the vendor, so it doesn't flow through the city. So that's just part of their billing structure. And so in the rate, the $27.58 per hour for the vehicle at the top of the slide and the $6.99 per hour, that does include the 4% fee that's being charged, but the city will not recover that 4% fee. This is simply just another view of the same information. So again, we have the 3 parts. We have the vehicle fee, $19.80 per hour, and then the 4% fee will be added onto that. The vehicle hours, I'll cover in the financial component on the next slide, but the vehicle hours are different than the officer hours. They average about 60,000 hours a year compared to the officer hours are about 86,000, and that's why we have a separate vehicle fee. The personnel box, that's the program management, so that's that $50,000 software and the 2 FTEs. That comes to $291 per hour. And then again, you'd have the 4% invoicing fee that goes directly to the vendor. And then that bottom box, the new resources. Actually, I just explained the new resource fee. I think the software plus the 2 FTE are $381 an hour, plus the 4%. The program management fee, that's our current personnel. That's $291 per hour, plus the 4% fee. So with this rate, we have to be careful because when we set the rate, if the officer hours increase, that's going to drive the rate down. And if the officer hours decrease, that'll drive the rate up. So it's really important to recalculate this fee as we get better data. So given these assumptions, I would like to show like the financial impact to the city. So for the existing resources, we use our city fleet and then the program management that we talked about. And if we charged it at the 95% ratio, with 59,000 hours, the vehicle fee at that rate of $19.80 per hour, and then we have the 86,000 officer hours at $291 an hour, that would generate $1.4 million of new city revenue against current existing expenses. That's the 95% ratio. In addition, we would have new city expense for that software and the 2 personnel. That would be $329,000. And billing at the officer rate of $381 per hour for 86,000 hours, that would generate a break-even status for $329,000. So the example fee is in the corner where it shows the impact to the city is the $19.80 per vehicle, the $291 for program management, and $381 for that new collection fee. And then that 4%, the $1.06, that goes directly to the vendor and does not pass through the city. That does complete our presentation. I did want to give a shout out to Leah Bird. She's the senior project manager in the implementation unit that helped me with gathering information on this. And we are happy to stand for questions.
Thank you so much. Trostwick, I see first Councilmember Cashman in queue.
Thank you, Chair Wansley. Thank you, Director Troswick and Deputy Commissioner Jeffries. I did not quite understand that last slide. I'm just trying to understand because I think it was like 1 point something million. And then I understand that there's the third-party software and then the program management personnel is needed, which comes to 329. So why does the revenue end up at that number? Because wouldn't it be revenue minus expenses equals revenue?
Through the chair, Councilmember Cashman. The 1.4 million, we're currently paying those expenses. And then the revenue generated for the vehicle and the officer is 1.4 million. So that's kind of the new revenue to the city. So we're already paying those bills. The fleet's already being paid for. The program management is our existing staff. But the revenue that we'll receive from this new invoice is 1.4 million. So that's new to the city. The new expenses, so the software that we need to purchase, and the 2 program management staff that's in addition to what we have now will cost the city $329, and we will collect the revenue of $329. So that portion of the program is meant to break even.
Oh, it's intended to break even?
Yes.
Okay, so there won't be any new revenue? Or
No,
there will be new
not for that
revenue,
portion.
Not for that portion, but there will
Correct.
be new revenue, which is the above portion.
Through the chair, Councilman Cashman, you're correct.
Okay, thank you so much for outlining that. And then what are the next steps with this? This might be a question for the chair or for you as well.
Well, we'd have to work collaboratively with IT, with city attorney. They all reviewed this with me just to make sure I'm not affecting the injunction by what I want to track with the software. So, and we vetted a few softwares. But the implementation would require, a collaboration of all those departments and a lot of policy decisions. Who's going to pay the fee? Where's it going to live? Lots of high-level questions that need to be answered that were outside of the scope of setting the fee.
Okay.
I also see, does Deputy Director Jeffries also want to contribute to that?
Chair Wansley, Councilmember Cashman. Next steps, I think I would defer to the city attorney on what needs to happen for the city to be actually to collect the fee from a legal perspective. But as Director Trostwick outlined, there's a lot of infrastructure that needs to be built up internally. And the one thing I wanted to point out is a lot of this is tied into the settlement agreement consent decree as well. So there's a lot of policy training and systems improvements that need to be made to actually accommodate this as well. So I just wanted to say that too.
I will let the CAO speak and also can contribute to some of the policy actions that we've already taken. Yeah.
Committee Chair Wansley, Assistant City Attorney Amy Shutt is here, who's been working on this and can address that.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. Yes.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Chair Wansley. So as you're probably aware, you have a pending staff directive before PHS. The item to amend the fee ordinance is before PHS and referred to staff. So assuming you believe these fees to be appropriate, you would bring that item back for a public hearing, approve an amendment to the ordinance, and then depending on how quickly you plan on implementing these fees, you might just incorporate them into the 2026 fee schedule that is, I believe, right at the start of the process of being updated. So as that fee schedule is being updated by staff wholesale, the fee for this new fee would be incorporated into it to take effect in 2026.
So, does that answer your question, Councilman?
Thanks.
Awesome. Thank you so much for laying that out. And then Deputy, I'll put myself in queue. Vice Chair Palmisano is next.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This goes right along with what we were talking about in regards to the presentation. This third-party vendor for billing and the admin fee, does that mean that such a vendor has already been selected? Or is that just what is typical with the different vendors that do this kind of billing?
Chair Wansley, Vice Chair Palmisano, the vendor has not been selected. We did interview had discussions with two software just to give the feel for what the normal billing structure is. We also surveyed other cities, and there's about 8 or 9 vendors when we did that survey for other cities that we can explore, and it just depends on the timing of the implementation and what services we want to provide. But this was a very traditional price and fee structure.
And thank you for that. I really like the idea of using that kind of billing software. It seems to work well for other cities. But what about third-party scheduling software? We have looked at that in the past. That is something that removes a serious problem in our past with our city's off-duty work. Not only does it make it more equitable for officers that are seeking part-time, but who makes those selections has been incredibly problematic in the past. So have we also looked at, or is this a different part of the consent decree, that we are also looking to schedule, or rather have this some outside party schedule instead of have our police officers do their own scheduling with off-duty work? Sure.
Through the chair, Vice Chair Palmisano, most of these vendors do have a scheduling component in it. Also, our future UKG system works with these software vendors, and that also UKG is the scheduling component. So they can layer on top of that, or they can work independently as scheduling.
And that UKG component, not to get too technical here, I will quickly be out of my depth, but that would be a customer-facing software where, say, people looking to do some kind of a large-scale block party, like business owners and something, could go on to our scheduling component and seek an officer to hire for part-time work? I don't think it does.
Through the chair, Vice Chair Palmisano, the software that layers on top of our UKG, which is our internal scheduling system for our officers, can do that. Those decisions haven't been made, so I'm not privy to what we're going to do with that, but I do know that they can do that.
Thank you. And we do know that is an interest of mine as a policymaker in proceeding with such a change like this, would be to absolutely remove the scheduling component from officers and make it more of an environment that feels better and more above board, frankly. So hopefully we will implement this with that in mind of adding this additional component, though I realize that's not technically part of the fee study. It's an important risk in our environment that we've been looking to mitigate for years.
Through the chair, vice chair, I think there's some legal ramifications of those decisions too that might be impacted that, I'm not privy to at this time, but I think they'd have to review the injunction on, what parts of the scheduling the city can actually be involved in given the current state.
Right. I appreciate that, and that is part of why I think a third-party scheduling system would be helpful instead of trying to do something like bring it quasi in-house. I like the idea of being able to recoup money that the city is spending, but I also want to highlight that there are actually a lot of positives that happen when others pay for part-time work, such as our officers are creating relationships in the community, like the community policing efforts that we're hearing about, and having a squad car with them on part-time, or also known as off-duty, allows for quick responses to emerging situations. And I don't know how many of those there have actually been over the years, but it is seen as an expanded presence in our community. And sometimes people seeing a squad car with an officer nearby is actually a much larger presence than just that one person standing there by themselves that's come in their own personal vehicle. So there is a component to this that I would rather us have squad cars out on our streets than sitting in a parking lot when they are unused. So thank you for this presentation.
I have myself in queue. First, thank you so much, Vicki Troswell, for this presentation along with Deputy Director Jeffries, but I want to give a particular shout out to you, Vicki. I know my office has worked incredibly close with you and really getting to this point to get meaningful answers around how we can actually build up a program to collect fees on off-duty work. And I know this has been a priority for residents, some of council members for several years, even before my tenure, but to finally have answers now around how we can advance this work is deeply meaningful. So I want to say thank you for staying the course and going through all the mental gymnastics of figuring out the methodology behind this, along with the CAO, Amy, for also being part of those conversations, helping us get to this point. Something else I want to highlight, especially as we go into the budget season, is that it's incredibly important that the city is ensuring that we're being prudent in how resources are being distributed. And it's also important that we are recouping all the costs as it relates to the services that we provide to our residents or to businesses in this case. And right now, your presentation outlined that the current system that we have is burdening city resources in terms of we're taking on that cost of over $1.4 million. And for our residents to know that that is all being subsidized by you through taxes. So I'm very excited about when we move through the policy phase of implementing these fees, these costs will now be covered by those who are contracting off duty and take some of that financial weight off of the shoulders of our residents who's already experiencing a lot. Something else I want to highlight from our conversations too, and getting to this point, I will note, it was surprising for me to also learn, even though this is not reflected in the fee, and this is why, that I don't think it's deeply known or widely known by MPD leadership that the city does not cover liability for actions committed by an officer that occurs during off-duty. The fact that this information was new to some in leadership makes me incredibly concerned that hopefully, some officers are operating with the misunderstanding or misinformation around, what is covered and what is not while they're doing off-duty. So I am glad that we have a presentation that actually spells that out. That would be reflected in this fee. And I think that is the most important impact of having this fee is it does increase transparency and accountability around our off-duty system to civilians, to those soliciting these services, as well as to officers themselves who are engaging in it. And this has been an improvement that residents have asked for many years. And it's even in the conversations that we're having, like this represents a major point of progress, but it does seem like we have more work to do in ongoing evaluation of how this can be implemented. But I want to say thank you. I also want to acknowledge the role that community advocacy played in getting to this point too. I will name my interest in this work was sparked by residents who were frustrated to see the amount of officers parked on Lake Street, specifically working off-duty for construction companies, while also simultaneously hearing from the city or city leadership naming staffing challenges and how to reconcile those two things. So I know I had to field many questions around this feels like a self-inflicted problem in some ways, and if we can address the ways in which we're putting guardrails in place around this program. So I want to say thank you to the community for asking for a call to action around this, and you all helped to deliver in this moment some next steps that we can take as a body to start that reconciliation. Again, I think some of the questions that were also raised of highlighting that this fee does not cover all concerns that are continuously raised about the off-duty system, but it is putting us in the right step or in the right place for moving forward. And I'm committed, of course, to continuing to use every avenue that we have on this body, if it's through fees or other tools to address how we can continue this effort of reforming the city's off-duty system. So I look forward to more conversations as we move the policy work forward, which will be happening soon. So again, thank you to our staff. And I will ask the city clerks to receive and file this presentation, seeing that there's no additional questions in queue. That said, we have concluded all the business that has come before today's committee, and if there's no objections, we are adjourned.